Oh, good evening. This is Virtual Pub episode 6. And today I thought I would bore the living daylights out of everyone with something that I find incredibly interesting. Some of you might find it not interesting at all. Sorry. Some of you might go, that's quite interesting. There's a lot of history when it comes to pubs. And this is something that I sort of researched a lot. And I myself enjoy history as a subject. So yeah, I thought we would go into the history of pint glasses, because why not? There's actually quite a lot of history to something as simple as what you put your beer in. Now obviously, years and years and years ago, before we had glass, but it was very heavily taxed. So everyone drank out of these. Pewter tankards, exactly the same as your glass things, it's just a lot harder to clean. And made of metal instead, because again, glass tax, which was abolished in the mid-Victorian era, made these sorts of things very, very expensive in glass. Many of you will probably all know the old story that, this one doesn't, this one's got a solid bottom, but these normally came with glass bottoms. And the reason for that is they were being used as a way to boycott people into joining the army. Back in the oldie days, if you signed up, you were given a king's shilling, and as soon as you took that, you'd signed up. And it was an old nasty trick of recruiters at the time, that they would meet you in a pub and go, "You're a jolly interesting fellow. Here, let me buy you a drink. There you are." And they would slip a shilling in it, and equivalent of 5p nowadays. And when you finished your drink, you would go, "Oh, what's this in the bottom?" And you'd have your king's shilling, and you'd go, "Ha! You took the king's shillings, no takebacks." And you'd be dragged off to go join the army. Not so great. Then, sort of mid-Victorian era, Parliament decided to abolish glass tax, which meant that people could now start drinking out of a delightful pint glass. And this actually caused a revolution in beer. So before this, beers were black. They were porters, and that's what the nation was drinking. Because it didn't matter, because when you pour it into something like this, you can't see the liquid that's in your vessel. You just drink it and have a good time. But the moment you put it into a glass container, suddenly that black, horrid liquid, people didn't really want to put inside themselves. So that's where we then start getting a revolution in brewing to change the colour to something more appealing. So that's where your amber beers and your IPAs and all that come from. And that's my Deliveroo, so I'll be right back. Let's Deliveroo order. Right, yes, pint glass. We've now got these, and we didn't like drinking horrid dark liquids from them, so we had a little bit of revolution, and we changed our beers from these darker colours into these more amber and bright colours. In addition as well, why you often used to have a piece of glass on the bottom of your tankard is because when your friend from the army bought you a pint, you used to lift it up and have a look to see if you could see the shilling on the bottom, because then you could go, "No thank you, I won't have that, I won't accept that king's shilling." So now we move on to something else that they got rid of during the late Victorian period, which was class segregation in pubs. So years ago, when you went into your pub, there would be an area for the common folk, and then the middle classes would have their own section of the pub that was specifically reserved for them, and your upper classes would have normally an entirely different room, so they didn't have to sit with the dirty peasant people. Over the Victorian period, they actually made this illegal. They said, no, you cannot segregate your pubs into various classes. Now, obviously, people still wanted to only drink with their certain classes, and the people that were of their pay grade, their profession. And that is where these come in. Now, there is an article online that says that handle pint glasses came into popularism after World War I because it looks like a grenade. This is not true. The reason you've got these dimples in the pint glasses, it actually takes less glass to make something like that. So why did these come in to become popular? Well, it's because people wanted to segregate themselves in pubs again. So you would serve different drinks in different glasses, and you'd be able to walk into a pub and tell by what pint glass someone was drinking out of what class they were. So, very, very top end of the scale, wines, brandies, and that's where you get things like brandy glasses from. Brandy glasses as well, just on a side note, if ever you order a brandy and it comes in a glass like this, first thing that your waiter should do is with a little bit of hot water and swill it round. Empty that and then put the brandy in, because brandy should be served warm. So you warm the glass when you're making a brandy, and that's why it's like that. So it can sit in your hand, and your hand can warm the brandy as you swill it and act all poncy and all that crap. Bottom end of the scale, your people drinking your cheap lagers, your cheap ciders, would be served it in one of these. It was a cheap, nasty glass for a cheap, nasty drink. And then you had your middle classes, and this is where people got, well, how do we make something for the middle classes? And that is where the handle pint glass comes in. That's why a lot of people nowadays still say, well, real ale must come in a handle glass. I'm one of those people. And it's generally because back in the oldie times, real ale was seen as a more middle to upper class drink, so you put it in one of these tankards. So when you were in your pub, proudly drinking your pint of real ale, everyone could look at you and go, that guy is the guy that I want to socialise with, or that guy's a bit above my station, maybe I'll just go over here and I won't bother him that much. There is a lot more to glassware and the history of glassware and all the things that it's done, but that is a very quick update, obviously. And then today we have, these are the most common ones you see because they're nice and cheap. The little bevel here is to make it easier for us bar staff to stack them, and a lot of places now brand these with their brands. You can say, yes, I'm proudly drinking a pint of Tarka or Exeter Brewery beer, and other people in the pub will go, yes, I want whatever he's having in that glass. So yeah, that is a very brief history into pub pint glassage. I suppose normal things. Here's our Patreon. Here is our Deliveroo, so you can order your delicious pint in a plastic pint glass, because I haven't got any. If I can't afford to give you proper pint glasses, or in a double milk jug as well. And finally, here is our Just Give page for the nurses and things that we are raising for the NHS Charities Trust. Obviously, I prefer the pewter tankard. Goes with the beard. Yep, this has been episode 6, and we will see you tomorrow. Happy Saturday night. Oh, and just as a quick end to this video, we would like to just say a little thank you to Sally for this wonderful comment she left us when ordering some Deliveroo earlier today. Yes, we would absolutely like to see the video of your cat, because cat videos and dog videos just make the world a better place. So yes, we'd like to see that, and thank you very much for your comment. It meant a huge amount to all of the guys here. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all tomorrow.